Now, before heading up into Canada and Saskatchewan for man hauling through the entire province and then up north of there to Nunavut, I wanted to learn about the people of Nunavut as well as their language. So, got two books in here. One of them, The Language of the Inuit, and another, The Words of the Inuit, a semantic stroll through a northern culture. And I wanted to pull out the top five supernatural encounters out of this book. And this is a dying language, about 30,000 speakers worldwide right now. So I encourage you to get on eBay or find these books. This one's available on Amazon. It's brand new, so really good book right here. But turning to page 57 here, it says hostile beings can be encountered along the shoreline, the Sina or the shoreline in July 1969 when visiting Killinick, which is right here on the map, all the way up at the northern point, a now abandoned village at the northeastern tip of Ungava Bay. I was told by a resident how a few years earlier he and other people had seen a giant monkey-like creature walking out of the sea. My informant had been very afraid, seizing his gun in defense until the creature reached the high tide line and receded back into the water, unable to progress on land beyond the beach area. So here we got somewhere near at least in the north, near Nunavut, on the way to the North Pole, some kind of giant monkey-like creature coming out of the sea. Sounds like, I don't know, some kind of an aquatic Bigfoot or Sasquatch, something like this. Now, later in the book, here we are at page 89, The Superhuman World. It describes some really interesting beings. And my next video is going to talk more on this. But the Inuit people are descendants of the Tartarians. And that's going to be covered in my next video. This one, of course, looking at these supernatural beings. And here we got the Igirate, who are made invisible, and the Tartarians, or the hidden ones, are beings that look like Inuit, but live in a parallel universe and make themselves visible only when they wish so. They may wed humans. In Kanjik Tugapik, in the Baffin region, a man named Narjarlak once married a Tariasuk woman with whom he had a girl child while also wedding a human who too gave him a girl. When the Tariatsut converted to Christianity, they told him he could no longer visit them, but that his Tariatsuk and the human wives and the children would merge into each other. Nurjarlak was still alive in 1998 when the anthropologist Bernard Saladin Angulaire traveled to Kanjipiktukpik in order to record his life history. I'm turning ahead to page 124 here, and it says the preceding chapter mentioned one of such a type relationship between a human being and his Nurlisak, his spirit wife, or her Urisak, the spirit husband. The children produced by these marriages are often invisible, but some of them are not, or they can be seen occasionally. It is said that the offspring of Ursay and Nularisay are recognizable because they have no navel. So there's some kind of spirit beings or some kind of beings that can choose to make themselves invisible, it sounds like, and they're recorded to have wed with regular humans and have children who don't have navels all the way up in through 1998. Next, for number 3, we got the Anuga Guliat, the small ones, provided with something that has to do with fingers and toes. That's kind of the meaning of the meaning of the word. It says these are dwarfs who are extremely strong despite their very small size, and they can haul half a walrus by themselves. In 2009, a group of children and teenagers from Kangersuk in Nunavik spotted Inunga Guligate behind their community school. Now, if we look at the Mercator map, It does say on there, up here in the North Pole, that there are pygmies on the island who are short. So I don't know if that's any connection. Another connection here would be with the dwarfs, of course, or like machine elves or something like that, who seem to be seen by people who peek into the spirit realm. But this next one, sounding kind of like a yeti, the Amalia Tuliak, the big one with an amauti, is an ogre who captures people, puts them in his amauti, a parka for carrying babies, and brings them back to his abode in order to eat them. Two, Amalia Tuliak used to live near Quagtak, Nunavut, but they have not been encountered for over 60 years. And I'm not sure about this one, but it says the Tournegate. There exist scores of superhuman beings of different types, of which may vary from one region of the Arctic to another. In Inukjuak, Western Nunavut, for instance, Tournegate now are understood to be human-like beings who live inside rocks some distance from the village, and from time to time to visit the community to do their shopping, wearing beautiful clothes and parking their brand new snowmobiles in front of the general store. So, anyways, I'm not sure what to think about the spirit beings who drive brand new snowmobiles. And this one, of course, sounding more like ghosts, where a woman was often seen strolling alone in the village, talking to herself with her arm extended sideways, as if she was holding someone by the hand. And she was taking walks, chatting with two invisible children she had had with her spirit husband. And the Inuit have shamans. They're going away with the introduction of Christianity, but they did have or do have shamans. And here, I mean, this sounds exactly like an astral flight, an astral journey that one experiences on DMT. I'm not promoting that, or just the ability to see into the spirit realm. The shaman here says to a shaman in celestial flight, and they have a word for celestial flight. Ilimamari turnik, learning continuously and repeatedly is what that word means. But I believe that celestial flight is, of course, a journey in the spirit realm, and the shamans acted as a middleman or middlewoman between the human and the superhuman worlds. And this may suggest that the shamans commuted between different worlds, the Inuit and non-human worlds. And in a shamanistic ceremony, the lamps were extinguished and darkness contrasted with shamanistic light, Qualmanic. The sound of the drum was heard, as well as the incantations of the shaman summoning his Tournegate, which may be a demon or it might be an angel. So they have a type of shamanic light called Qualmanic, and that light was understood by the Inuit as manifesting in three ways: physically from the sun, mentally, Qualmanic, which again is the shamanic enlightening knowledge, and then of course intellectually for just acquiring knowledge to be smart. So just a few interesting things from the Inuit culture, and a very interesting language. I encourage anybody to study this language and purchase these books, support some of these authors who are trying to keep this language alive. And in my next video, I'm going to cover links between the Inuit and the Tartarians. So it's quite possible that the language of Inuktitut is quite similar to the Tartarian language, which has been lost.